Um, Let me go into the presentation now. All right. Just again, a few reminders for our meetings. I'm going to change the first one to we will begin promptly at 6 p.m.-ish. So that would qualify as ish right now. Please remember to mute when not asking a question. Your questions are definitely welcome, but just if you're not asking, please mute. And feel free to utilize the chat function. If you record your question there, it is easier for me to record it and get back to you. So again, this is our July 23rd town hall, and we're still talking about how we are responding to the COVID-19 crisis. I want to go back to something I shared initially at the first town hall meeting, and what's really driving my decision making is based off the basic needs of people. And so, as I mentioned last time, we have to make sure the most basic needs are met before we expect more. And so we are really focused on those bottom needs, as well as moving up this pyramid, this triangle. So beginning with physiological needs, which are food, water, and sleep, making sure that students and families are having those met, and then moving into making sure we're meeting the needs of safety. People who are unsafe cannot reach high levels of productivity. And then moving into love and belonging, up through esteem, and then to self-actualization, which is you're reaching your potential. So again, just something that helps share where decisions are being made from and what we're considering first when we make a decision. So one big update that we've had since many changes have happened since we met last, but the most important change is that the district has announced that they will be moving into universal remote learning to start the school year. And so I've taken this directly from their communication. So I'm going to read this out loud. It says, due to a recurrence or resurgence of COVID-19, the district will remain in a remote learning and remote work environment until clearance is given by public health officials. Just so you're aware, remote work environment is not defined as the employees working from home. Based off of the most recent communication from the district, the employees in Fulton County will work from the school or their central office locations. But students will be engaging in remote learning from home until it's deemed safe by public health officials to return to school for face-to-face instruction. So that's the big announcement, just so everyone is aware that it's affecting every grade level from pre-K through 12th grade. And so a lot of today's discussion is around universal remote learning. As I mentioned, it's constantly changing, and there is a board meeting taking place right now, which I plan on sharing with you how to get access to that meeting at the end of my meeting. So a lot of what I talk about now may have more detail to it tonight, tomorrow. So I'll definitely update you if anything changes or if we have more details to share. So today we're going to talk about, or tonight we're going to talk about universal remote learning. Here are the different pieces of my agenda. I'm going to talk about an overview of what it is. I'm going to talk to you about the student and family support side. So again, back to that Maslow's hierarchy of needs, thinking about those basic needs being met. We're going to talk about instructional expectations. We're going to talk about scheduling, grading, remote learning applications, remote learning materials, attendance and grading again, although I could have done grading before, and social and emotional supports and communication. So overview. Universal remote learning is designed for all students in grades pre-K through 12th grade. It has removed the individual remote learning option. So just if you're aware, many of you signed up for individual remote learning. Universal remote learning has replaced that. They may provide more information about individual remote learning in the future if we come back face to face. But as of right now, that option is no longer available. Everyone is in universal remote learning. Students will receive instruction from a Bethune teacher. So it's important to know that in universal remote learning, students will receive instruction from a Bethune teacher. And staff will report on August 3rd for
Down below.
planning. 1 second, I'm going to make sure. If you are not muted and you can do so, that would be wonderful. Okay. So staff will report back to the building on August 3rd for 2 weeks of pre-planning, and the first day of universal remote learning is Monday, August 17th. So the first day of school for students and for universal remote learning is Monday, August 17th. So again, if there are any questions about any of these aspects, please go ahead and put them in the chat and I will get to them when we get through the presentation tonight. One thing to consider is you may have heard that the state of Georgia, the school board for the state of Georgia, there's been a lot of news about them meeting today and discussing a September 8th start date. As of right now, I've not heard anything about that and if that would affect Fulton County schools. So we are rolling with what we have right here for now, which is staff report on August 3rd. We have 2 weeks of pre-planning to get ready, and then we deliver universal remote instruction beginning Monday, August 17th to all students. So student and family support. This is critical, especially in a remote learning environment. So I'm going to kind of capture some of the support offered to families and can definitely answer more questions about some of these things if you have them. So devices. This is a hot topic item right now. Right now, devices are only being provided by the district for grades 3 through 12. I've talked to a lot of parents in pre-K, kindergarten, first and second grade who would like a device, and we've shared that with our district leaders. And so we are, I'm always hopeful that there may be a change to the plan. But as of right now, I do know that based off the limited number of devices, it's only for 3rd through 12th grade. That could change. And if it does, I'll definitely update you. But that is the thought around devices as of right now. Devices will be available for pickup from the school. Again, this is all as of right now, from the school when we return for pre-planning. So we're going to work on a system to get you these supports that I have listed here. So I'm going to go through them and I'm going to talk more about that. Hotspots. Hotspots will be available for students. I believe students in any grade who need a hotspot, I believe will be able to get access to a hotspot, but more information to come on that. But a hotspot allows your family to access the internet and it provides access for free for a period of time. I want to say it's at least 1 year. So, and it allows for multiple devices in your home to use it. So hotspots are going to be very critical to being able to get on to the instruction and get online to participate in the virtual learning or the remote learning. Remote learning backpacks. This is something that Bethune is doing. We are going to create a remote learning backpack. We have a shipment of backpacks coming to us. We have a lot of materials and supplies that I'll talk about later, and we're going to be putting those materials and supplies into backpacks and coordinating with parents to pick these backpacks up on 1 day during pre-planning. So we're going to be working on that as well, and making sure that students have access to materials, to workbooks, to the things we're using to teach with, including manipulatives. But I'll go through that list with you later. Meals, we will be continuing to provide meal services. Bethune has not been a meal site for the district, but I believe that when we move into the beginning of school, it will turn into a meal site, I believe. And I do believe it will be a 1 day a week meal site where you would get a package of meals for a week. That's how they've been doing it at other sites. So I will say for certain meals will be provided. The details, I don't have all of them yet, but meals will be provided to families. And then family assistance, we are going to ensure that we are closely connected with all of our families as needs arise. And those could be food, those could be support with housing, they could be social emotional supports. We want to make sure that we are right there with our families, listening and supporting in any way we can. There are a lot of resources inside and outside of our district, and so we want to make sure we're working closely with our families to identify anything they may need and supporting them through what is a very challenging time for everybody. So all of these things, the idea would be that for the devices, hotspots, remote learning backpacks, we will coordinate with parents. The goal would be, and I'll talk more about this later around communication, but the goal would be to set up a time for parents or a date for parents to come pick up certain things that they would need for at-home learning and for remote learning. And we would coordinate that, and we would have those ready. We would do a drive-through type, very safe way of providing these. And so those are a lot more information to come on that, but we are working to ensure that support is provided in this remote learning setting. Again, any questions about this, please put them in the chat for me, and I'll come back to you, or you can wait and ask them later. Instructional expectations. So it's going to be a little bit more, I guess you could say, tighter than it was when we first went into remote learning last spring. I think that some schools and some teachers across different schools did, everything was very different for different classes in different schools. So the district wants to have more consistent expectations around what remote learning will look like. So there will be a set schedule shared with you. We don't have access to it yet, but the district is working on a schedule. So you'll get a schedule of what this looks like. There will be daily live instruction, at least for grades 3 through 5. We would most likely also offer it in pre-K through 2, but we're waiting for more guidance on pre-K through 2 because they do not have devices. But we can guarantee there will be daily live instruction for students, and not once a week, but that will be daily. Daily office hours will be provided, so parents and students can reach out for support. One-on-one student-parent conferencing will be available. So we do know that some students may need just that one-on-one support. Some parents may have questions about how to support their child. So we'll provide one-on-one student-parent conferencing, and lessons will be recorded for viewing outside of the instructional day. So some students may need to see a lesson twice. They may need to see a lesson after the class is over. So we will record those lessons. This is being shared in the board meeting. I was able to get access to it to share with you right now, but this is brand new. This is what the schedule will look like in terms of minutes, not in terms of when in the day it will happen, but in terms of the minutes in the day. You can see that this is daily, how much time is being dedicated to the different subjects. So for pre-K through 2nd grade, they are allocating 105 minutes a day for instruction. 30 is going to ELA and reading, 30 is going to math, 30 is going to specials, and 15 to science and social studies. 3rd through 5th grade is 180 minutes a day, and you can see the breakdown of 45 for ELA and reading, 45 for math, 30 for writing, 30 for specials, and 30 for science and social studies. So this was just released, so our team hasn't even seen this yet. So we have a lot of work to do to, one, figure out if there is more detail coming on this, or figure out how we're going to make this work for our students and for their families at home. But this has been shared by the district and will be shared at the district board meeting tonight. So this is the information here. Grading. So we do know that grading will be tight this time in remote learning. Last spring, students were just given grades based off whether or not things were complete to some level. And so this time around, it will look much more like regular school. K through 2nd grade will receive an S, N, a U, or an I. Satisfactory, needs improvement, unsatisfactory, or incomplete. 3rd through 5th graders will go on the A through F scale, along with an I being incomplete. And you can see the percentages that go along with those grade categories. So we have 90 and above for an A, 80 to 89 for a B, 70 to 79 for a C, and 69 and below for an F. So again, grading will be a little more tight this time around. I'll talk a little bit about how you as parents can monitor your students' grades more closely in this remote setting. Remote learning applications. So these are the applications the district is really mentioning a lot as what you'll see your student engaging in. I would add Nearpod to this list because we are going to be using Nearpod quite often. But Microsoft Teams, you're already aware of. That's what we're on right now. So all students across the board will be engaging in Microsoft Teams. We know 3rd through 5th grade will be doing it very consistently because they'll have devices. Our pre-K through 2nd grade students, we're not entirely certain how they're going to utilize Teams since they do not have a device right now. But again, more information hopefully will be coming on that, and we'll have some ways to engage them. Seesaw is another application you may see used often. iReady, I'm quite certain you're all familiar with iReady. That will be used daily for students. Illuminate will be a place that students engage in assessments. Class Link will be used to access all of these things, and Safari Montage will be used to access videos, instructional resources, and things like that online. There are additional applications we'll be using that are district approved as well, such as Myon. I mentioned Nearpod, and there's some others. So those are just some of the applications you'll see and hear often. So remote learning materials. So I mentioned the backpacks that we're working on creating. So inside those backpacks, you can expect to find these things. Now, some of these have more details still to add to them, but district provided learning packets. So the district will be creating learning packets again. We may or may not use this as a primary resource, but we do want to make sure we have the access to it if we need it. We have purchased iReady ELA and math workbooks for all students this year. We have created, we've had two terrific teams for ELA and math create spirals to go home with students this year, where teachers can utilize the spiral to teach from. So the spiral will include reading activities along with writing activities. We have leveled readers that we're going to organize and send home with students so they have actual books to read. Math manipulatives as well as phonics manipulatives for students to use and touch will be going home. For those manipulatives, those will both be for K2. Given that they will not have the devices, they're going to need more hands-on materials, whereas our 3rd through 5th grade students will use more virtual manipulatives. Social studies and science materials will come home, textbooks, workbooks, things like that. We're going to be providing notebooks and pencils and different supplies that we've ordered. But we also ask that you go ahead and continue doing what you've always done and buy those supplies up front for your child. We do not have a current list since they're not coming back to us, but I can definitely work on sending a list out to you of supplies that would be beneficial to purchase prior to the start of school on the 17th. And our amazing art teacher is working on, Ms. Johnson's working on getting some art supplies, or getting a grant funded for art supplies so that we can provide an at-home art supply kit to our students as well. So we have a lot of things that we're working on, and this is really all just Bethune trying to figure out the best way to support our students and their families at home. So we look forward to putting these things into our backpacks and then coordinating with you on a way to pick those backpacks up, ideally before the start of school on August 17th. I mentioned grading earlier, but this is just a reminder. Attendance will be taken daily, so there'll be a way that we're taking attendance. I cannot tell you for certain what it's going to look like right now, but there will be some form of attendance taken. And then grades will be maintained on a regular basis and entered into Infinite Campus. So it's going to be critical, and I think I mentioned it later, that every parent is able to access Infinite Campus. So we're going to be working closely with our parents during pre-planning to make sure they know how to access that and see their child's grades, their child's attendance report. All of that information is housed there, and it's critical just that you as parents have that information as well. Social emotional support. So again, back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, safety and well-being are very low on that list, and you need to make sure you're addressing that at all times. So we'll be providing instruction around student success skills. We have a champion leading that. That's Ms. Williams, and then we have Ms. Sherman supporting her. So she's going to be helping lead our staff in training around student success skills and how we can provide virtual instruction in that way. PBIS will continue as an ongoing support for students to identify and to reinforce positive behavior. So we have some work to do around what that's going to look like, but we do definitely want to incorporate PBIS into what we do and recognize students for things like attending classes, turning in their work, even possibly helping out within your home. So we want to maybe incorporate the house into that as well. Counseling and behavioral interventions. We have Ms. Sherman and Mr. Stark will be continuing to provide students with one-on-one or small group interventions who are struggling possibly with behavior, possibly with just dealing with their emotions and their feelings. And WINGS will be continuing their efforts to provide support to our students. Although we will not go back face-to-face, WINGS is still going to provide support to students who are enrolled in their program. That means they'll provide additional tutoring support, reaching out for homework help, reaching out to make sure families are okay and how they can assist. So I do encourage everyone to continue reaching out if you're interested in joining WINGS or being part of WINGS. I'm actually asking the WINGS leader, not Mr. Trey, who will be also back with us, but Camila, to come to the next town hall meeting and talk a little bit about what Wings is planning to do in this remote setting to support as well. So we do have some emotional and social supports provided to our families as well during this. Communication. So I really have been, this has been something I've been thinking about a lot, and it's part of the reason why I want to hold these town halls, but also part of the reason why I've really been working closely with our team on outreach and ways we can just reach every single parent. So I have a very, it's a very lofty goal, but I'm not going to change it. That by the end of August, every Bethune parent or guardian will be registered for Class Dojo, which will be our communication platform for a school and campus parent. That's Infinite Campus, the Infinite Campus piece. So my goal will be that every parent inside of our school will be able to receive Class Dojo messages from their teacher. We'll be able to see updates from Class Dojo, because I will also be using Class Dojo in addition to School Messenger, which I use currently, to reach out. Class Dojo is very user-friendly if you get the app and you sign up for it, so it's going to take a little bit of work to get it going, but we're going to make it happen. And then Campus Parent will be, again, allowing you to see your child's grades, attendance, a lot of information that is critical to supporting them. So that is going to be our goal, and we're going to do everything we can to reach every parent in our school to make sure they are able to register and get on those programs and platforms so they get the information they deserve and the information they need to feel like they can support their child. So how are we going to do this? So today is a town hall. And then moving forward, I'm going to continue for the next week sharing information and updates through School Messenger. So you all receive updates from me probably more often than you want, but through email and through phone call, I'll be giving you updates. I've updated a lot of information so that most of you hopefully are getting things more often now. We've updated a lot of our email addresses. I thank our team for that. And so we've updated a lot of information so we can reach more people. So that currently is our best way to reach everyone. Moving into August 3rd through 14th, we'll begin a process of making phone calls with every single parent. And this phone call will be important to share information around schedule, information about supports like the devices, hotspots, remote learning backpacks. So we'll be working with parents to schedule a time to pick that up. My thinking right now is it might be one grade level for a day. And so if you're a first grade parent, you would come on this day to pick up your backpack. And possibly if you have more than a child in more than one grade, we could get both of those done for you so you don't have to come back. But that is the goal in August, is to make those phone calls and set up those pickups. And again, I'll be sharing general information through School Messenger at that time. Once we move into the start of school, we will be working on the Class Dojo and Infinite Campus. So we're getting everybody registered for Class Dojo, getting registered for Campus Parent, so we can get information easier. You don't have to check an email. You don't have to answer a phone call always. It will come to you through Class Dojo. And Class Dojo has really improved. They've already been strong, but they've really improved a lot of what they offer, given that so many districts around the country are in remote learning. They are now doing a lot of things to support parents as well on that end. So that is our communication plan. That's our timeline to reach our goal. What I did not add in here is we'll do another virtual town hall on August 6th at 6 p.m., which is Thursday. So 2 Thursdays from now will be another one, and that will be an update for school and district updates, as well as talking about most likely the process for picking up the devices in the backpacks. So that is our communication plan. I will mention quickly housekeeping items. Student enrollment. This is a really critical piece. Right now, we are very low in our kindergarten enrollment, and low enrollment has a factor on funding, all sorts of things within a school. And pre-K is also low right now. So I encourage everyone who's part of this meeting right now, if you yourself have a kindergarten student or a pre-K student who'll be coming to Bethune and you've not enrolled them yet, please do so. You can do it online at the Fulton County Schools website. If you know of anybody who's waiting, please urge them to enroll. We are accepting all pre-K and all kindergarten students into our school for virtual learning, for remote learning. I know it's been a lot of confusion around that because initially individual remote learning was not for pre-K or kindergarten, but universal remote learning is for everyone. So please, please, please urge anyone that lives around Bethune in our zone to go ahead and enroll online so we can make sure we have all of our kindergarten students accounted for and our pre-K students accounted for. PTA, I will talk more about this at our next meeting, but we do really want to build off of these town halls to increase our PTA. Our PTA is going to be critical this year. It's going to be very different than it has been in the past because we'll be meeting virtually. We'll be doing a lot of events and things virtually, but we want to really build off the momentum and the support of the community. And I know so many people who are sitting here right now would probably be interested in being part of that PTA. So we want to ensure that we do that. So that'll be part of the next meeting. And I will show you how to access the board meeting for those of you who are interested in watching that whenever they go live. They may be live right now. So I will take a moment to show you that, and I'm going to come and then answer the questions you have. So if you are interested in watching that board meeting, you will just need to go to Fulton Schools website, so fultonschools.org. And when you go there, it will look like this, and you'll see that there's a little, what looks like a little TV screen below. I'm sorry. Here we go. Down here, and it's a little play button. You can watch every Fulton County Schools Board of Education meeting here. So as an example, it says public comment is not aired, will resume shortly. So they're doing public comment right now, which means that we've done a good job of getting through our town hall. So if anybody wanted to watch this meeting, they could, but it is available through the district website and pretty easy to access for everyone. So I'm going to pause on that. I'm going to come back. I'm going to again mention, yes, next town hall meeting will be in 2 Thursdays at 6 p.m. to talk about updates and also PTA and wings. Let me move now to the Q&A. So I'm going to go ahead and come back to my chat and take a look at what we have listed here. Okay, let me open this up. All right, I'm going to scroll back up. If anyone has any questions they want to unmute for, feel free to do that. I don't want to miss anything that you may have. So that is open to anyone at this time.
Mr. Pratt?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, my question is, when you guys are scheduling the devices, the time frames just don't work for parents that work first shift. You know, you do like lunchtime. Some of us have to be at work by 9 or 8, don't get off to 5. Is this going to be some way that we can try to work that in?
Yes, we can definitely think through a way to maybe do either one day of a late pickup time, depending on who needs that, or at least try to be very flexible throughout the day, from like, you know, the time we arrive to the time we leave, and to create a big window. But we'll work with individual parents around that for sure.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, any other questions? I'm not seeing anything in the chat this time, so I hope that means that we don't have too many questions. But if there are any, please feel free to put them in there or just let me know.
Hey, Mr. Pratt.
Yes.
My daughter, she was in 2nd grade last year and she didn't get no computer device. So would she be able to get one this year?
So she's going to 3rd grade?
Yes.
Yeah, she will. Yep. Anybody, if any student going into 3rd grade and above will be able to get a device. So we'll work with you on that, okay?
Okay. I'm sorry, I was late to the meeting.
Oh, no, you're fine. Does anyone else have a question that I can answer pertaining to anything that I shared or anything else?
Mr. Pratt, how you doing? This is Andrea Terry. I have a 1st grader that was in kindergarten last year.
Yes.
And I'm really concerned about how their day is going to go. Are we picking up packages from the school on a daily basis, or how are we going to do that?
That is a great question. We also are concerned about what our pre-K through second will look like. We're going to do our best to make it the best possible experience we can, but without the device, we're not certain some of the things, the limitations we may have. My guarantee would be that if we're able to provide the backpack as planned, then inside that backpack would be some materials that you could utilize for more than just 1 week. Now, the district may be making learning packets week by week. I'm not entirely certain how they're going to go about this, but we will have workbooks and other things, our spirals and things in there that we're going to utilize before the packets to lead our instruction with. So you'll have more in that backpack than the weekly packet provided by the district. That's what we're trying to add to that. But we're going to work to get a device into their hands if we can.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else with anything I can help with?
This is Andrea again.
Yes.
Mr. Watson did a good job last year with doing videos and things of that sort. So I think we met our first grade teacher. So will we still be reporting to her?
Yes, that will be your new teacher. That's going to be the biggest challenge we're going to be facing is the transition into a new teacher being remote. It is something we've never even thought about having to try to do. So that's why we're really going to be leaning on our communication and everyone on this team and everyone on this in this school will be our first goal will be to communicate with our parents to let them know what's going on, what their schedule looks like, who their teacher is, what supports they have. Like, we're going to be adamant about that, because if we don't do that right, it doesn't really matter what else we do, because it won't be getting to the people we need to get to. But yes, you'll have your new first grade teacher this year, and they will do an amazing job. And Mr. Dobson's awesome. I agree.
Thank you.
Okay, well, I'm going to stay put for anyone who might have a question and may just want to ask it in a moment. I encourage anyone who wants to watch the board meeting to go do so, because I think you're going to learn more than I've been able to provide right now. And I really want you guys to know that we are going to work our best to support you in this, because we know how hard this is. We know that the health and safety of everyone is the most important thing, but we also know that this puts a lot of families at a disadvantage. And so we are going to do whatever we can, and I promise this to you, to make this work as best we can until we can return face-to-face safely. So you have my commitment there, and you can always reach me anytime. I will put just in the chat box, I'll go ahead and put my information again, so you all have it, my email and my phone number. And text me, leave me a message. If I don't get back to you, I will promise to get back to you. You all have been amazing, and I'm very proud to support you through this. So I'll stay on. If you don't need anything, feel free to log off. Thank you. We reached about 60-ish people, it looks like, at our highest point tonight. So that's great. And we'll continue trying to increase those numbers. Please, enrollment. Tell people about enrollment. Enroll here. We will take care of them, and we'll provide their kids with a great education. So thank you all. I'll stay on for anybody who has a question, but if not, take care and stay safe, please.
Hey, Mr. Pratt,
Yes.
where do we pick up the laptops from?
So it will be when they get them, when they okay this plan, it will be from Bethune, but it will probably not be until the second week of August. That would be my guess because we have a team who's going to be working on getting them all ready, and it's probably going to take them a week to get in and get all the things ready we need to get ready, and then we'll have that call made to parents, and then we'll set up a pickup time with every parent.
Okay.
Ms. Pope, I see your question. We're working on that time. It will be the same time, but we will do a certain process to enter the school. So I'll give more information soon on that, Ms. Pope. Thanks, Mr. Jones. Stay safe. Thanks, Ms. Smith. I appreciate that. Ms. Flag, if the kids have their own laptop, will there be a code or login for them to use the app so they do not get a laptop from the school? It depends on the laptop, but I do believe that they will be able to use them if the laptop allows for iReady and Microsoft Teams. I would lean toward, if you're uncertain, get one from the school because they can provide it. But if they're pre-K through second grade and they have one, it's the best bet. We'll try to figure out how to make it work.
They'll use their lunch number codes for that. So they should be able to use laptops that are not given out by the district. And we'll be sure that we send something home, um, letting parents know how to do that.
Thanks, Ms. Newport. I see we have a couple people who just got here. If you just arrived, I'm going to send out a recording of this meeting to all of our parents. So hopefully that will be helpful. But if you have any questions for me, I'm here for a few more minutes. If not, there's